my frame for this talk from Angela was what brought me to Uffington. So I replied to that question in a sort of a text message to my old school friend, and so I said it's the story of my ongoing deepening relationship with my bowl and the Aramaic prayer. Do I need the microphone?
Yeah, you do.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Quite quiet.
Please.
Not better. Quiet voice.
It's on.
It's on.
Yeah.
It's on? Can you hear me? Okay. It's just all the hands in the wind. It's like having an umbrella, really. So yes, my relationship with the bowl and the Aramaic prayer and the world of wonder, delight, mystery and adventure that they bring me into. Prompted by a desire to bring healing and transformation to trauma, both my own and that currently dominating the world stage, and bringing us all to this crisis point. The bowl and the prayer give me courage, hope and a sense of the extraordinary nurturing beauty and presence behind and within our surface difficulties. So I just need to tell the story. So the story sort of began in 2009 with a question from my then 5-year-old granddaughter. Is it still working?
Yeah.
5-year-old granddaughter. And she said to me,
Bring it closer to
she
me.
said to me, what's the most important thing in life, Grandma?
Wow.
I said, wow, what a question. Anyway, at the back of my mind immediately sprung up the greater timing, which was a bit faker really, because then suddenly my whole life changed and everything fell away. I went through like an avalanche of loss really. And then I sort of washed up on the shore with a sound bowl and the Aramaic prayer. And 2 new sound healer friends. So I said that I really found the writings of Neil Douglas Klotz and his translations like soul food, and she said to me, well then make it your discipline. So I think it's that sort of prompted me to really do that. So I've done it at least, I started off sort of every day, but it's become something I drop into now, anywhere, on a bus or a train or wherever, it's sort of just there with me. And it's got an extraordinary energy field. And then the other sound friend chose this bowl for me at voice camp. They just had these impromptu scales and it was just there. And then she visited me in 2012 and said, as she's wanting to do, said, I want to visit Stonehenge and I want to be inside Stonehenge tomorrow. Well, you can go inside Stonehenge, but you have to book it and this and that. Anyway, the upshot was, we got there and the whole coach party was cancelled. And we found ourselves inside Stonehenge. We saw the sunrise in January, the end of January, this sunrise, through the triathlons. And it was the new moon of the year of the Chinese water dragon. And I think the bowl sort of changed, it made some kind of cosmic connection there. Then what happened? Oh yes, then a few years passed because I was very distressed about Syria actually. I was trying to do an anthology, try and do something about what was happening. I could sense all this dark forces, and I remember sitting at my computer with a bowl of ice cubes on my forehead, and it was just too much. I think I've realised it's that our mammalian brain is very reactive and it gets worn out anyway. So that didn't quite come to fruition, but I worked on it for a long time. And then in 2016, I learned that this is actually an ancient Tibetan water blessing bowl. So it's very old, dates from 14 or 1500s or something. So that was wonderful.
Tibetan water blessing bowl.
It's a Tibetan water blessing bowl, yeah. And then I was at Voice Camp in 2017 with the same friend, Stonehenge one, and we got me the bowl. We went up on, there's a hill beside Voice Camp. Both went up there. It was the Lion's Gate, and we'd heard in the sort of big circle exactly what time this was happening. And I'd always been a bit nervous about Lion's Gates, but the woman had spoken about bees and humming, so I thought I can cope with that. So we went up there, and I did the prayer, and she did the Tibetan chant. And when we came down, somebody said to me, Gail, can you look over there? And there was this great pink rainbow across just in front of this hill. It was quite extraordinary. And then the next day, Joanna said she'd been up there, and where we were sitting, it was misty, so we couldn't see it, but we were overlooking the Westbury White Horse, so that was quite special as well. Then in 2018, I can come to these images now. 2018, there were the Novichok poisonings. I live in Salisbury, so I was worried about the rivers there. So I thought, well, I got a water blessing bowl. I started trying to bless the rivers. So I went with a friend, and the first one we did, it's such a beautiful place, and it was like nature was just dancing with delight. So this is one of the pictures. Now I've got some trees. Well, you can take that. You can just take that. So then this is another one from that. Just because I think it's so lovely, really. It just felt, I would say dancing with delight. So there. So then, the next thing really was the 2020 Avon Valley Pilgrimage. I think Angela's, if you showed me some photos of that. We went down the Avon. And then in 2021, we were planning for the conference at Avebury. And Angela had done this, she showed me this picture. I don't really understand that. I hadn't been there for the previous talks, and I just thought, I don't really understand that actually. But anyway. But then I went and lay down, and then I thought, it was like a sort of like a chiropractic, a hard click. And I thought, we're in the sacral area, and the Avon Valley felt to be like a birth canal, where from where all this healing energy could go from. And then I thought and then I knew also about this COP26 pilgrimage, about the spinal album. I thought it's all sacred, we've got the spine, we need to link them somehow. So that was how I sort of hit on the idea really of thinking about coming to join them. And then we couldn't go immediately before the conference because it was Thursday. They were on Dragon Hill, and then our conference started our Pilgrims Day started on Saturday. So we thought, well, the 31st Samhain, that would be a good date, and that was when they were starting. The whole conference was starting. So that's how we came to come on that day. And then I'll tell you the story. I have it written up. So the day dawned, and it was the weather was fine, and I have to take. Is it on? Yeah. Okay, so I have to take my car because it's just, I'm going to get absolutely soaked. So I drove down to the river, and I had to go through a place where it was flooded. There's never normally a flood there. When I got to the river, it was like a sea. It was so windy, and it was really troubled. It was just like an ocean, a very troubled, and it was flowing upstream. So I managed to get some water from there. I drove back home. As I came back home, the sun had just sort of broken through the clouds. Not it was still very cloudy, but it broke through enough to be shining on my house. No, it's all the plasma. It's all plasma. So anyway, the sun was shining on my house, and then I had to drive, all the way to Uffington, which was not easy because of the wind. Yeah, the trees down and so forth. Anyway, when we got here. I'd not been to Uffington before, and there was this. Well, it's just like a cosmic amphitheatre. It was very dark, it was very cloudy, the weather was still pretty menacing. I don't think it was raining, it wasn't, it was just very blustery, So we went round. Then when I got to the steps of Dragon Hill, I had to bend down, they were full of water, and I had to go up on all fours, really. It was so windy, it was really quite dangerous. And, well, I'll come to that. So I went up on all fours, and we did this little ceremony there, which wasn't easy with the wind blowing like that. And I've written about it. I won't go into all that now. But then we left the Dragon Hill and went up past. I think we're going to walk down today. And as we turned, it was lovely because there was this rainbow. It was so nice, and it was in that due north, that due north place. So that was just really, really encouraging. And then it was. That's just looking from, down from the horse dragon. I got this because just to show how much the weather had cleared by that time. You know, it's like we'd done what we came to do, and then all the weather changed. And there was a couple here. We had to hang about, didn't we? Because there was like a courting couple there. We felt that was very auspicious for the balance of the energy. So yeah, sending love. Yes, sending love down the line. Then we came here, and then we went to the church, and Andy mentioned about all the blueberries. Anyway, when I got home, it didn't quite end there, because when I got home, I was listening. I was just going to sort of relax after this, blustery day, and tune into somebody who does Dancing University Girls and Peace does monthly chants from around the world. And as I was doing that, I started getting text messages from a healing group I belong to. There'd been a train crash just within less than half a mile of my house in Salisbury. And it was too light. Anyway, it was another terrible thing, and yet, because I was I was plugged into this healing and meditation group, and the guy who was going to be doing the chanting, it was such a nice way of sort of receiving that information, and it just reinforced this idea that there's terrible things happening, and then behind it there's this kind of net of something holding it. So then the last image. But so before doing this talk, I looked online just to see about the 31st. Anyway, that is. I don't know how well you can see that, but there was indeed like a corridor of tornadoes that day. It was a tornado. The winds were 77 miles an hour in Salisbury that morning, and this started at 8 in the morning, finished up here, and finished at 12 o'clock. Well, that was the exact time we were doing this our ceremony and so forth. So again, it's more of the plasma here.
Which is very active.
Yeah. Very active. It's very active. Yeah. So that's it really.
And the last one you were going to show was the sound.
Oh, thank you, Angela. Yeah. Sorry, we were going to come back to music. That's right. Sorry, I have recently started sort of studying about sound healing, and this is just an image of. I mean, it's only a fraction of a second of somebody singing, but it's like. This is so beautiful. Like when you say something about the tube, I don't know.
Yeah, it's very similar.
Yeah. So that's it's the beauty. That is the beauty that's actually there in all the terrible things.
Sorry, what is the image?
It's a guy who's got John Reed. John Reed. It's John Reed. He's got this special equipment and cameras.
Affected by
He injects sound. He injects sound actually into the water. I think that's how he does it. But I mean, that's just one fraction of something. Yeah. But it's rather nice, So and he says that when we, that sound travels. So the sound doesn't travel. It changes to infrared light, and it's still, it's going off into the cosmos. So I suppose, all the realms of being.
But that's the Berkeley.
Oh. What's that?
The Berkeley current.
That's why the Berkeley tubes.
The Berkeley tubes that have been cut to see what's inside in the laboratory, the plasma laboratory.
That's amazing. That's so lovely. And I didn't know Gary was coming with the Berkeley tubes. And we've got those. I mean, the things they're everywhere, aren't they? They're within us and everywhere. So I think it's just such good news. I mean, we just only got to kind of tune into it, really. And I was stopped from singing at school, so that's been my challenge, really. It's become my major thing. Yeah. Thank you.